The building was always quiet, but tonight, the silence felt alive. Alex sat on his couch, staring at the thin wall that separated his apartment from his new neighbors. It was strange, he had never seen them. No footsteps, no voices, not even the sound of a door opening or closing. Just nothing. At first, he thought the apartment was empty, but then came the sound. A faint whisper, soft, shaky, like someone talking through a dream. He pressed his ear to the wall. "Hello?" he whispered. No answer, only the echo of his own breath. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flashes. A door slowly opening, a figure standing in the dark, a face that looked like his own staring back. He woke up sweating, heart racing. The next morning, something new appeared on his door. A small handprint, pressed into the wood, as if someone had touched it from the other side. The print was his size, but he hadn't touched the door. Curiosity turned into fear. He decided to knock on the neighbor's door. Just once. The sound echoed down the empty hallway. No answer. He knocked again. Then, something knocked back. 3 slow, heavy knocks that came not from the neighbor's door, but from his own apartment behind him. Alex froze. The air felt cold. The hallway lights flickered. Slowly, he turned around and stared at his door. It was open. Alex stood frozen at the sight of his open door. The hallway behind him was silent, but a cold draft slipped out from his dark apartment. His hands trembled as he whispered to himself, "I locked it. I know I locked it." He slowly stepped inside. Everything looked normal at first, the couch, the lamp, the coffee cup on the table. But something felt wrong, like the air itself was watching him. The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual, every second stretching too long. "Hello?" he called out, his voice echoing back at him. No one answered. Then he noticed something strange. His picture frames were turned backward, their faces hidden against the wall. One by one, every single one. His pulse raced. He grabbed the nearest frame and turned it around. It was his photo, but his reflection in it was smiling. Smiling in a way he hadn't smiled in years. The lights flickered. A faint sound came from his bedroom. A slow creak, like footsteps on old wood. He took a shaky breath and walked toward it. Each step echoed in the silence. When he reached the bedroom door, it was half open. Inside, he saw movement. A shadow. Someone was standing in front of the mirror. Alex whispered, "Who's there?" The figure turned around. It was him. His own face, his own eyes, but empty, cold, and lifeless. Before Alex could move, his reflection smiled and said, "You shouldn't have knocked." Alex stumbled backward, his breath catching in his throat. His reflection, no, the thing that looked like him, stood perfectly still inside the mirror. Its lips curved into that same eerie smile, eyes locked on him. He blinked, trying to convince himself it was just a trick of light. But the reflection didn't move the way he did. When Alex stepped back, it stayed still. When he raised his hand, it didn't follow. Then it spoke again, voice low and calm. "You opened the wrong door." The lights flickered violently. The mirror's surface rippled like water. For a moment, Alex saw something behind the reflection. An empty room, dim and colorless. Almost like his apartment, but different. Wrong. He felt a pull, a soft, invisible force tugging at his chest. His body leaned closer to the mirror without him meaning to. His reflection mirrored nothing. It just smiled wider, teeth too white, too sharp. Panicking, Alex stumbled back and ran to the living room. He grabbed his phone. No signal. The clock on the wall had stopped ticking. The air was heavy, thick, and humming softly, like the building itself was alive. Suddenly, a knock echoed, 3 sharp hits against the wall that separated his apartment from the neighbors. He froze. The sound came again, louder this time, and then a voice whispered through the wall. "Help me, please." It was his voice. Alex's hands shook. He pressed his ear against the wall, eyes wide. "Who are you?" he whispered. The voice came again, quieter, desperate. "I'm you, and you're in the wrong apartment." Alex's heart pounded as the voice faded into the silence. He pressed both hands against the wall, trying to find where it came from. The wallpaper felt cold and damp, almost breathing under his touch. "I'm you," the voice whispered again, this time softer, trembling. "You're not supposed to be here." Alex took a shaky step back. "Stop it," he shouted. "Who are you?" No answer. Only a faint scratching noise, like fingernails dragging from the other side. Then the wall bulged slightly just for a second, like something inside was pressing against it. Fear turned into panic. Alex ran to the door, but when he grabbed the handle, it wouldn't move. Locked. He twisted it harder. Nothing. The sound of faint breathing came from behind him. Steady, slow, and way too close. He turned around. The wall now had a small crack near the center, splitting downward. A thin line of black dust spilled out, forming strange symbols on the floor, circles and lines, like someone had drawn them hundreds of times. Then, the whisper came again, closer now, almost inside his head. "Don't let it open, Alex. It wants to switch places." He stumbled backward, shaking. "What do you mean, switch places?" he yelled. But before he could finish, the mirror in the bedroom shattered. A loud crash echoed through the apartment. When Alex looked toward it, he saw movement again. His reflection crawling out from the broken glass, slow and silent, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. It smiled and whispered, "Your turn." Alex froze as his reflection crawled out from the broken mirror. The creature moved just like him. Same face, same eyes, but its movements were slow and unnatural, like a puppet being pulled by invisible strings. Alex stepped back, hitting the wall. "Stay away from me," he shouted. The other Alex tilted its head. "You shouldn't have knocked," it said again, in his own voice but colder, empty. Then it stood up straight, wiping dust from its hands, as if it had done this before. "This apartment. It belongs to me now." Alex's mind raced. He grabbed a piece of the mirror and pointed it like a knife. "What are you?" he demanded. The reflection smiled. "I'm what you left behind. I've been waiting for you to open the door." The lights flickered again, and suddenly, the apartment began to twist. The walls bent slightly, like they were made of rubber. Shadows crawled across the ceiling, whispering in voices Alex couldn't understand. The reflection walked closer, its feet making no sound on the floor. "You were never supposed to be here," it said softly. "You crossed over when you knocked. That door wasn't yours." Alex shook his head, fear filling his chest. "You're lying." The reflection laughed, quiet and broken. "Then why do I have your heartbeat?" Alex froze. The sound was clear, thump thump, thump thump, coming not from his chest, but from the thing standing in front of him. Then, as the lights dimmed, the reflection whispered, "Only one of us gets to stay." Alex's pulse thundered in his ears. The reflection stood in front of him, smiling with his face but wearing an expression that didn't belong to any human. He backed away toward the main door, fumbling with the lock. It wouldn't move, no click, no sound. He pulled harder, desperate. Nothing. The metal felt warm, almost alive. Behind him, the other Alex spoke softly. "You can't leave. You already crossed over." Alex turned. The air around the reflection shimmered like heat waves. For a moment, Alex saw another version of the apartment behind it. Same furniture, same walls, but darker, older, decayed. The reflection wasn't standing in his world anymore. It was standing in that one. "I don't belong there," Alex shouted. The reflection stepped closer. "Neither did I." It reached out a hand. The moment Alex saw its fingers, his stomach turned. They were cracked, blackened, like burned paper. When it touched the wall, the surface rippled like liquid glass. "Come back," it whispered. "It's waiting." Alex's mind screamed run. He sprinted to the bedroom, slammed the door, and pushed a chair against it. The mirror pieces on the floor reflected 1,000 small versions of him, each one slightly different, slightly wrong. He dropped to his knees, breathing hard. "This isn't real," he whispered to himself. Then, From the other side of the bedroom door, he heard his own voice say, calm and clear, "Don't worry, I'll take care of your life now." The door handle turned slowly on its own. The door handle twisted slowly, and Alex held his breath. The metal creaked, the chair shook. Then silence. For a long moment, nothing moved. He leaned forward, listening. Only his own heartbeat echoed in the still air. Carefully, he stood up and stepped toward the window. Outside, the city lights looked strange, dim and colorless, like someone had drained the world of life. He pushed the glass open. Cold air hit his face. He leaned out, looking down. The street below wasn't moving. Cars frozen, people standing still, their faces turned upward but not alive. "What is this place?" he whispered. Behind him, the voice answered, "Home." Alex turned sharply. The reflection stood in the middle of the room, though he hadn't heard the door open. It smiled, calm and confident. "You belong here now," it said. "The moment you knocked, the doors switched. You took my place." Alex shook his head, stepping back toward the window. "No, this isn't real. I can go back." The reflection tilted its head. "Then where is your world now?" Alex turned and looked through the window again, and his heart stopped. Across the street, in the bright, living version of his apartment, he saw himself, the other version, moving around, turning on lights, answering his phone, living his life. "No," he whispered. The reflection walked closer, voice low. "He's better at it than you were." Alex slammed his hands against the window, shouting, but no one heard. The glass felt like ice, unbreakable. The city outside faded further into shadow. Then the reflection leaned close and whispered, "Now you knock when it's your turn to come back." Alex pressed his forehead against the cold window, watching his other self live the life that used to be his. The lights in that world glowed warm and soft, while the one around him stayed gray and silent. He shouted again, hit the glass, begged to be heard, but the world outside didn't move. Only his reflection stared back at him now, faint and fading. Then came the sound. Knock, knock, knock. It came from the wall behind him, the same wall where the first whisper had started. Alex turned slowly. The air around the wall shimmered, the cracks glowing faintly white. He took a step closer. "Who's there?" he asked, his voice breaking. A faint voice answered, scared and shaky. "Help me. I think I'm your neighbor." Alex's blood ran cold. It was happening again. Another knock echoed, louder this time. He realized the truth then. This place never stopped. Every time someone knocked, the doors switched, trapping another soul on the wrong side. He whispered to himself, "It's a loop." The wall pulsed once, and the cracks began to spread. Alex looked toward the window one last time. In the bright world, the other Alex turned suddenly, eyes meeting his through the glass. He smiled and whispered something Alex couldn't hear. Then he walked away, closing the door. The cracks on the wall burst open, a blinding light swallowing the room. Alex took a deep breath and whispered, "Don't open the door." But the sound of a hand knocking echoed again, and everything went silent. Across the hall, in the bright world, a new tenant arrived, and next door, a door slowly creaked open.